Okay, so we will continue for our section 1.4, other types of equations. So the first type, we will talk about three types. So polynomial equations, radical equations, and solve equations in the quadratic form. Okay, so we'll talk it one by one. First one is what polynomial equations. Means all the polynomial equations with degree bigger than 3. It's the high order. Okay, so for these types of equations, most likely we will use factoring to solve this. Okay, so let's look at some examples. You have 3x fourths equal to 27x squared. A lot of students were first divide x squared on both sides. No, because you cannot divide x squared because these are variables. So because they are variables, it can be equal to 0. You cannot divide 0 because it's undefined. Are you guys with me? So do not divide variables. You can divide a number, divide 3 on both sides, but you cannot divide x on both sides immediately. Okay? So what should we do? We have to move everything in one side because we are using factoring. How could we use factoring? You have to keep one side equal to 0. So 3x4 minus 27x squared equal to 0. How could we factor here? Do you have anything in common? So you have a 3 in common. x4, x squared, you have x squared in common. Then what do you have left? You divide, yeah? 3 divided 3 is gone. x4 divided x squared, you have x squared. 27 divided by 3, you have 9. X squared is gone. So you have this. So now you have what? Two terms multiplied together equal 0. Then what do we have? Equal to 0, equal to 0 here. So you have 3x squared equal to 0, or x squared minus 9 equal to what? 0. So what should we do from here? Yeah, well, could we divide by 3? Of course, because it's a number. So x squared equal to what? 0. So what will be x? X squared equal to 0, then x equal to 0 too. So x squared minus 9 equal to 0. What should we do for this one? Okay, so because we can use the square root method, yeah? So because you have a square equal to a number, so x squared equal to 9, what will be x? Do not forget, plus or minus square root of 9, which will be plus or minus what? 3. Do not forget plus or minus. It's very important. Okay, solve by grouping. Grouping is also a special way of factoring. Okay, so what does this mean? So whenever you wanted to use factoring, you have to what? Make one side equal 0. So we have x cubed plus 3x squared minus 81x minus what? 243 equal to 0. Okay, so grouping means you find the first two terms together and second two terms together. So what do you have in common in the first two terms? You have x squared, x plus 3 left, yeah? What do you have in common here? Actually, you have a negative 81. You have a negative 81 in common, okay? And then you have x plus 3. This is very important. Okay, so the technique is when you do the grouping, inside of the parentheses, it should be the same. If it's not the same, you didn't group right. Okay, so this is the technique to check your answer. So now you have x plus 3 in common. What could we do? You can take it out. Yeah, so this is in common. And then what do you have left? X squared minus 81 equal to what? 0. Now it looks much familiar as before. So what do we have? Two terms multiplied together equal 0. So each term equal to what? 0. So x plus 3 equal to 0. Or x squared minus 81 equal to what? 0. So what do we have here? X equal to 3. Square root method. X squared equal to 81. And x equal to what? Plus or minus 9. Plus or minus 9. Okay, so these are the two examples. The next types is called what? Radical equations. Okay, so radical equations is one of the types that is typically give students a lot of trouble. Okay, so how could we get rid of the radicals? How could we get rid of a square root? When we learned this technique from complex number, yeah, get rid of a square root, then you square. Okay, so what do we have? Square cancel the square root. What do you have here? 3x plus 6. What will be x minus 4 squared? Do not distribute the square into both terms. That's common error. It's what? X minus 4 times what? X minus 4. You have to what? FOIL it. So what do you have? X squared minus 8x plus 16. I already combined that term. Okay, so you can do it carefully by yourself. Now, what do we want it to do? So we wanted to either use what? Quadratic formula or factoring, but you wanted to keep one side to be 0 first, yeah? So move 3x, move 6 on the other side. So we have 0. Minus 3x minus 8x minus 11x minus 6 plus 16 plus 10. Could we factor it? Yeah, so 10 and multiply equal to 10, add together equal to negative 11. So negative 10, negative 1. So what do we have? X minus 10 and x minus 1. So equal to 0, equal to 0. So x minus 10 equal to 0 or x minus 1 equal to 0. So what is x equal to 10 or x equal to 1? Are we done? No. Okay. For the radical equations, you always have to what? Check. You have to check these two solutions. X equal to 10. What will be your left? Is square root of 3x plus 6. Plug in 10. 3 times 10 plus 6. 30 plus 6, 36. Square root of 36 is 6. What's your right side? Is 10 minus 6 minus 4 is they are equal, yeah? So what does this mean? X equal to 10 is perfect. So the next we want to check is x equal to 1. Your left, do the same thing. 3 times 1 plus 6. What do you have? Square root of 9 is 3. What will be your right side? It's 1 minus 3, minus, not 3. Minus 4 is what? Negative 3. Are they equal? No. So what does this mean? This is not a solution. What is your solution? X equal to 10 only. So this step is always forgotten by some students. So do not forget to check if you have a radical equation. This is very important. Okay, so for the equations with rational exponents, yeah, so square root and you square. What should you do to get rid of 3 over 2? You wanted it to disappear. When will it disappear? When x equal to the power 1, it will disappear, yeah? How could you make a 1? 3 over 2 times what? 2 or 3 times what? 2 or 3. So what do you have? X to the 3, 2 cancel, x to the 1, 25, 2 or 3. Yeah, you can use your calculator. You will know this is what? 25. Okay, similarly, how could you get rid of 5 or 2? Yeah, somebody? 2 or 5, yeah? So because power to the power, you multiply the power. Are you with me? So a to the m to the power n is a to the what? M times the n. So you wanted the 1, then you wanted the time the reciprocal, then it will be gone. Are you guys okay? So it's x minus 2 to the power of 1 is 32 to the power 2 or 5. So x minus 2 here is equal to 4, and x equal to what? 6. Okay, so the next part is we want to solve the equations in the what? Quadratic form. What does this mean? So this means if you have an ugly equation like x4 minus 10x squared plus 9, 5x to the power 2 or 3 plus 11x to the 1/3 plus 2 equal to 0. Okay, so what is one property that you need to pay attention to? So here is x to the 4, here is x squared. Look at the exponent. This is double of this, 4, 2. And here is what? 2 or 3, this is 1/3. This is a double. Then we will consider this to be a quadratic equation in the quadratic form. So we always let u to be the middle one, the x squared. Then what will be x fourth? Okay, so u equal to x squared. X fourth, which will be what? X squared square. Or I think you can think about this one easier. What will be u square? U square will be x squared square. Power to the power, what should we do? Multiply, yeah? So use x to the fourth. Are you guys clear? Yeah? So this is how you get the x to the fourth. You let u equal to x squared, x fourth become u squared minus 10u plus 9. And similarly, you have u equal to x to the 1/3, then the first term will be what? Become u squared. Okay? So what do we want it to be u here for this question? X to the 6 minus 10x cubed plus 9 equals 0. 6 is double of 3, yeah? So what will be u? X what? Cube. What will be x6 to be? After you make the substitution, this part will become what? U squared, yeah? Minus 10u plus what? 9 equal to 0. So because u squared, which will be x cubed squared, 3 times 2 is what? x6. Are you guys with me? Give you another example. And how could we solve these things? Do an example. I want to do an example here. So we let u to be x squared. So we have u squared minus 10u plus 9 equal to 1, 0. Then what could we do? Factoring. 9, you wanted to multiply equal to 9, add equal to negative 10, minus 9, minus 1. So u minus 1, u minus 9 equal to 1, 0. You get two things multiplied together equal 0, then each part equal to 0. So u minus 1 equal to 0, or u minus 9 equal to 0. So what do we have? U equal to 1 or u equal to 9. Are we done? Now, so you always need to what? Substitute back. This means you do not have a u in your solution. What do you want? You wanted x. So you only get u. That's not enough. You have to find x. So how could you find x? U equal to 1 and u equal to x squared. Then it means x squared equal to 1 or x squared equal to 9. X squared equal to 1. What will be x? 1, yeah? Now, do not forget what? Plus or minus. Do not forget what? Plus or minus square root of 9, which will be what? 3. Then we are done. Okay, so you can use the substitution and do not forget to substitute back. That's very important. Okay, and similarly, so we have another example. So if you have a square, x plus 3 squared, 8 times x plus 3 plus 12. Okay, so this one is a little bit trickier. So it's not the typical one. Okay, so, but you know, so what's your u? This is your u, yeah? So x plus 3 equal to u squared minus 8u plus 12 equal to 0. That's a typical method. We find a negative 2, negative 6 here. Then you find u equal to 2 or u equal to 6. Do not forget to what? Substitute back. And then you find your x value. Okay, so that's the end of